Huh?
This is very nice.
Yeah. Yep.
Alrighty.
No, bigger than 8 by 10.
It's got a glare. Point it forward. There we go. Just for signing? Okay. Yeah. Turning around.
Bernie's doing the first time the other day. Utterly brilliant. Oops, sorry.
Okay, guys, thanks a lot.
Movies don't exist if you don't go.
Here you go. Here, sing. Just take, I guess this one. You want to do the official cake cut?
Sing, what should I do?
Where do I cut out?
Chinatown.
If anybody Romero want to know what to do,
Okay, go ahead.
You need to know how to slice something?
All right, here we go. Okay, I hate to anymore.
Great. Doing the readings is probably better than the ones I did myself.
Right in the eyeball.
Everybody's welcome to a slice.
Thanks.
At least 82 people there is a big push to move the Democratic National Convention to Philadelphia.
This is where it's the zombie apocalypse will come back to the over and to come.
But they're saying I can't.
Yeah, it's all the way around the building out to the street.
Yes.
Zombie 2.
Hi, how are you?
Camera's got such a delay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Whoa. This will do better.
Yeah, that one my day. I want to feel good. Get your cameras ready. Let's do the photos.
You're a professional photographer over here.
Yeah, I like it.
With the sign in the back too.
All right. So then let me.
5, 6.
Oh my lord, life is just way too much. Like, driving off way too Yeah, only those trying to poke. It would be a lot easier then.
Okay. I'll press harder on it. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Your babysitter's here.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a great scene.
Jeremy.
Be in his next film.
Where we've been through the last 10 years and also that person, and then you meet the person and what we'll do is we're going to go to the Raise Your Hand cake, and it was a lot of fun to watch George cut that.
Beautiful.
But when we call on you, if you would, just stand up and try to...
No, you don't have to, but just hold a film called Martin, which is, thank you, something that was called the USA Film Festival, which has become, and so I'm Martin. And, sorry, Warner Brothers blew off Salem's Lot eventually and made it. He wrote me when Salem's Lot blew up, and he did films, one in black and white, one in widescreen, one in, and he said, no, let's stick with the comic books. And he said, up time, and professional still photographer. We're actually all stills that we would put.
Yeah. And your name is? Anybody can guess? Want to introduce yourself to the judges? Let them see you and tell us what your name is.
Faith.
Okay. Your name?
Amber.
Entering it in. Oops. Okay. No, you're not.
JD.
Your name is Steampunk Ariel. What bride? An undead bride is? Art. Like
The Spectre.
the Spectre. And the category?
Gabe.
This is Gabe. And the category would be kid's character is?
Mystique.
Mystique. Let's hear it.
Sexy, why not?
Sexy, why not?
Vampire with a crossbow.
Vampire with a crossburn. entered the vampire with the crossburn into the scariest category would be who?
The one, the only.
Who you'd like to be entered into?
I guess I have to go with sexiest.
Sexy.
Laura.
This is Laura, and her character is or Ghostbuster. And her category entry is hello. Your name?
Right now, my name is Cindy.
Fucking clowns. Your name is? Ashley. And you're not sure about that. Took a couple minutes. Yes?
Thomas Edison?
Thomas Edison. And he had, which category would you like to be entered into?
Those with the most?
And his character is? Okay, we'll go down. You were Circus Bazaar. You were the guys that were in the contest about a year or two ago. Your name is? The female Cenobite from Hellraiser? Hellraiser. I was wondering how she got the free ticket. She is Lady Macbeth. And the hall. Okay, Debbie, does your character have a name? And your character is?
The TARDIS.
The Targus. Sexiest. Character?
Mummy.
She's Mummy. And the...
Fucking facility.
See, we gotta go with the hotel stuff, right? Alice. And your character is?
Alice.
Everyone say hi to Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Have you seen Batman?
Yes. This hotel's got bugs. Am I making the grade? Am I passing? I know I'm gonna lose. What is it?
Riley.
Riley?
R2D2.
Oh, that's R2D2. I would have never. Hello, how are you? You.
They mixed it or something else.
Okay, and your name? And your name? This is Adam, and your character? My favorite characters.
Jason doesn't say shit.
Your name is Paul, and that is who? Jason.
Correct.
Okay, which category would you guys like to be? Your name, sir? Dennis. This is Dennis, and your character. And he even sounds like Ash Williams. Your name is?
Pork chop and mutton.
Okay, this is. You've got to start them young.
Baby doll, of course.
Baby doll, of course. Baby doll. Let's hear it for baby doll and baby doll in the category. I'm doing good. I'm in room. What room are you in? And his character is? And your name is? They just keep growing. And the category you'd like to be in?
Chad.
Chad?
Chad.
Okay, your name?
Bridget.
Okay, the kids got it. Sexiest.
I gotta tell you something real fast. I'm kind of pissed off today. You see, Freddie and Jason, you my G's. I'm a G boy. You better watch out.
Gentlemen, let's hear it for Benjamin.
Just gonna do a cheap, quick plug here while we're at the.
Blu-ray and will receive a $50 gift certificate to AMC movie. All the contestants in each category. Okay, from the kids category, let's. Congratulations, Rusty. With the contestants and do their first names again. Pork chop. Meatloaf, pork chop. It's kind of a group. Paul. All the contestants in the scariest category. Okay. We actually, and it would take us for all the contestants in the most original category. Son of a bitch. Category, some of the best costumes I've ever seen in a costume contest. Big round of applause for the contest. Now there was pressure on, and some of their wives are here, so they're now single.
Got a Yoda shirt on.
All right, guys. Looking good.
We're at 125. So you're at 135. So what do you want to get? You want to go 160? All right, let's do the second one. It's the whole set. Oh, it's the whole set. We're at the panel today. See that? I saw stuff on YouTube.
Because he's wrong, and I think that he could have reacted. It might have been an interesting theme to have him flip it and have him be wrong, but be wrong because he thought he was being pissed on. Mm-hmm. And we never went that way, and I think sometimes that we should have. But Dwayne was the most aware. We're all going. Jack and I were saying, "Come on," he said. It has this scene where he has to punch Barbara. And, he said, you know what's going to happen to me if I go to the movies and in the theater, you know what's going to happen to me when I walk out of that theater? And, he was constantly aware of the issue. Whereas, we kept him, come on, it's 1968, forget about it. We're all past that. And obviously we were not. But he was a wonderful guy, really, really sweet, gentle man, and really wonderfully educated. Just a terrific guy. And the only thing that he insisted on, he insisted on his clothes. He didn't want to wear blue jeans, and he wanted to look a bit more proper, and that's really the only change that he made in that sense. But it is funny, man, that people think of it as a racial statement, and it was not our intention at all. But man, we finished the film. And I told a story earlier about when Russ Streiner and myself drove it to New York. And that night, when we were driving to New York to show the film to the distributors, in the car that night, we heard the news that Martin Luther King had been assassinated. And, you know, all of a sudden, that film took on a completely different complexion. And I think that's sort of started the whole myth about Night of the Living Dead being a racially motivated film, which was not an intention. I have no contact with The Walking Dead. It's one of those things that, in fact, I resent and it pisses me off a little bit. Not so much because it's not. You know, Frank Darabont did a great job with the first season. I had to watch a couple of episodes of the first season because AMC hired me to host their Halloween thing, and I had to know a little bit about The Walking Dead in order. I knew the books, but I had to watch a couple of episodes in order to sound, you know, like I knew what I was talking about. And so that I've only seen those couple of episodes. They were Frank's, obviously, in the first year, and I thought he did a great job with it. Now, I don't know the story. I don't know what happened to Frank. Max Brooks tells a story that they actually sent him to Comic-Con to promote the second season, and when he got back to his office at AMC, they said, "So, okay, thanks for selling, and now you're out of it." But I don't know if Max is right about that, but
I can tell you, George, I had some dealings with AMC in March. I believe that 100%.
Okay.
Trust me.
Okay.
We had, long story short, we had a Walking Dead reunion here, and about 2 weeks before the show, I started getting threatening emails from AMC. It was just, I mean, it was crazy
Like
stuff.
what kind of? I mean, what did they want you to do?
They didn't. I wasn't allowed to show any photographs from any of the people from. They owned all the intellectual property. Couldn't even use the name. All the crazy stuff.
Wow.
When the first season first started with the 6 episodes, we had the cast here and trying to promote the film. Last year they sent us material not the film, the series. Last year they sent us material in Baltimore to promote the second season, or the third season, whichever it was. And all of a sudden, you know, I was waiting for the guy with the handcuffs and the thing to come. It's just crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, I got a whole other look into how things work. And then as this was going on, I'm like, now I know what happened to Frank Darabont.
Frank Darabont, yeah, under the bus.
Oh yeah.
First I got hired to do the commercial for Resident Evil 2. I did a television commercial, which could not air in the States. For some reason, the actors, they only hired them for European and Japanese release. So there's a commercial out there somewhere that I did for Resident Evil 2, which I think never aired here in the States. Maybe it's on the internet somewhere. But then, you know, somebody got the idea that maybe I should be hired to make the movie Resident Evil. And it was there was a company named Constantine, a German company, that owned that script. And the guy that runs Constantine runs the show. I mean, this is a guy that completely holds the reins on everything that happens in that company, even though they have offices in LA. But this guy, I think, you know, changes the toilet paper. I mean, this guy does everything. We worked on the script. The LA executives loved it. Capcom loved it. It was a script that was very close to the original game, plus it had some sneak information that they had given us about the second game. And, you know, I thought it was great. Everybody seemed to like it, but this guy didn't like it. This guy had never played a video game. And this is a guy that made House of the Spirits and Das Boot. And, you know, he's used to sort of high-minded, you know, art stuff. And I really think he was slumming when he just bought the property because he knew it was popular. But he had no idea what he had. And so we were basically, I got fired. It was the only time that, you know, because we delivered the script and everybody liked it, and, you know, I said, no, not what I want. And that was it. Well, okay, see you later, Charlie. That was in a period where, you know, we were hired, my partner and I, we did about 7 years without making a film. Made more money than we'd ever made in our lives, writing and rewriting, and, you know, we got hired on everything, on The Mummy, on that project Before I Wake, on Goosebumps, you know, the R.L. Stine stuff, the Goosebumps books. I mean, we had all these major projects that we were writing and rewriting, and not one of them ever got made. So we just got frustrated. So I just finally said, forget it, man. I said, this is not Hollywood is not, you know, where I really want to be. I want to make films, not just write. And that was it. So I wrote Bruiser, and we got it financed by a French company, and took off and made it, and I wound up in Canada basically because of that project, and I've been loving it ever since. Even to this day, if you read the TV Guide blurb, you know, it says a returning satellite causes the dead to come back to life. And that's what I feared. I knew that was going to happen. I didn't want it to happen. We had 3 scenarios. One was a virus. One was a bioweapons spill, and the other was a satellite. And they were all 3 in the film, but they were on the news. And there was too much news. We wound up having to cut. When the distributor picked it up, we wound up having to cut 6 or 8 minutes. I forget exactly how much, but we had to cut some time. And we realized, well, there's all these radio reports. Who needs it, you know? We kept the one because we had gone to Washington, D.C. to actually shoot it. And we said, oh, well, see, this opens the film up a little. It adds some production value, and that's why we kept it. And I was afraid at the time. I said, people are going to think this is the only explanation, even though they seem to be arguing about it, you know. I said, well, we're not, you know, they say that, well, we're not sure, but that wasn't enough, that people still think that that's the cause of it. After that, I never wanted anything else, you know. My only explanation is there's no more room in hell. And, you know, it's sort of an implied, you know, punishment, God's punishment or something that's happening metaphysically or supernaturally, which I much prefer. It doesn't matter what's happening. It's like, you know, it could be that you could take the zombies out of my films and replace them with tornadoes or with hurricanes or with earthquakes. And because my films are about the way humans respond to it and how the stupid things that they do faced with this crisis. And that's more important to me than the zombies themselves, even though I've come to love zombies. I just don't think that dead people, you know, if they tried to run, they would snap their ankles. So I just can't believe it, you know. And even in the remake of Dawn, not only were they running, but they undercranked the film, so they ran even faster. I just don't get it. And in Z, my God, they're climbing over the wall like army ants, you know. It looked like the naked jungle all over again. I just don't get it. I think some people feel that it's more frightening to have this horde of fast-moving things, whereas I was always more frightened, you know, by the Mummy that just kept coming. slowly coming after you, and you couldn't stop it. So I guess it's two different schools of thought. I prefer the slow-moving, inexorable thing that's going to get you, as opposed to